Hey guys, it's Ben. It's been another week, so you know it's time for another weekly vlog update. I do this once a week, right? Ever since I started this vlog, losing weight with the Mounjaro and tracking my diabetes and glucose control as well. In this vlog, I started this vlog as a way to keep me focused on what I need to do, because I've tried stuff in the past so many times and I've never had anybody really holding me too accountable. My wife is super awesome, and she's like whatever I go for, right? Like I would explain and make up excuses on why I needed to come off diet or something that I was on, and she, oh, you need to do what you need to do. You know, she's very supportive. But when you do this vlog, right, you've got all these other people out here, all you guys out there watching and saying, hey, I'm doing the same thing he's doing. So it puts a little bit more pressure on me knowing that you're watching me, right? I want to be successful because I want you to be successful. And if I'm not successful, that doesn't motivate anybody, right? Now, with that said, I've had my failures in this vlog. If you guys have been watching long enough, you've seen them. And I will tell you every time there is failures. Sometimes I don't show you the not so pretty stuff, right? But in my last video, I got a comment from a guy or gal named @BigfootM5Q. I'm going to read that to you in a minute. But first, I wanted to tell you what we're going to do in this video after the weigh-in and the blood sugar thing. We're going to talk about some of that mental stuff that I've been kind of hiding through, and the mental stuff that's been going through my head. From a different perspective, right? From going from obese down to what's considered average or normal in today's society, right? For my height, my average weight, they say, should be between 145 and 180 something. But I feel best around 155, 165, somewhere around there. So that's what I'm aiming to keep in the middle of. So 160 is my goal. Last week I weighed in at 161.2, and if you'll remember, I was trying a different scale, smart scale. So it might weigh differently. In fact, at Bigfoot M5Q commented in my last video, and they said, since it's been 6 months, have you not had your A1C checked to know how your diabetes is really doing? I'm shocked the doctor would not have tested it by now. And your scale, are they both weight calculated is basically what he's getting at, because I weighed a little bit heavier on my new scale, unexpectedly more heavier because, due to the amount that I'm eating. But you guys know the weight thing, it's a day-to-day thing. Some days it can be up, some days it can be down, and that's why I only do it once a week, and I only do it on this vlog. It was hard not to weigh when I first got my new scale that day that it came in, but I wanted to do it with you guys. So I waited, and I do my weight once a week. So that stops that fluctuation, and that stops the being down when it's, when your weight's up, and being elated when it's down. It's like having manic depression, man. You're up 1 minute and down the next. So I do it once a week. That being said, if it's down, then I'm happy all week. If it's kind of up, then I'm kind of thinking about it all week. And that does me a couple of things. It puts a little bit more, it makes it more thoughtful, when I'm driving down the road and I'm like, man, I'm pretty hungry. And then I convince myself that I should stop somewhere and grab something to eat. But then I start thinking about that stuff. And then I'm like, well, I'll just wait home, get an apple when I get home, or an orange or something like that. And that's what's going on with my lifestyle changes. That's some mental stuff going on, but we're going to talk about that in a couple of seconds right after this. But I want to address the comment. No, I have not had my A1C tested. And don't be shocked about the doctor not asking to have it tested. She has asked for me to go in, and I just have been too busy with my trips until this month. I'm going in later this month to have my blood panel run, and as soon as that's done, I'm going to report it to you guys. I'll just post it up like I did in the first place, like I did with my first one, right? Saying what my results were, what's high, what's low, what's in the normal range. If you'll remember, my A1C was 10.6 way back in the day. And the last time I had it tested, it was 5.4. So it'll be interesting later this month to see where it's gone from 5.4, because I was still on the Mounjaro when I had it tested at 5.4, and I stopped the Mounjaro 6 months ago, and I've been controlling pretty much my glucose through just good diet and exercise. Not a particular diet, and I don't mean to say diet, I mean watching what I eat, right? Not necessarily a diet or anything. I just take much less than I used to. Like I still eat like meatloaf and potatoes, for instance. I will just take like a quarter of what I used to eat for my meatloaf, and maybe even that for my potatoes, or even less than that. Maybe just a tablespoon or something of potatoes, because you say you look at potatoes and you put weight on. That's me. But I love potatoes and I can't give them up. So I've found that eating them in moderation, I can control my weight, even though I can eat the things that I love as long as I do it in moderation, right? That's all I'm saying. It works for me. Anyway, long answer to your question. No, I haven't had it tested. Yes, I'm going in later this month. And I will tell you as soon as it comes back, and I'm going to be honest with you. They also said that they were shocked that the doctor wouldn't have tested it by now. Like I said, that's my fault, not my doctor's fault. She's kind of been bugging me about it. You can only do so much, right? Anyway, I'm kind of stubborn and boneheaded. I'm kind of afraid to find out what the results are, so I've kind of been putting it off and making the excuse that, oh, I've just been too busy. It takes me 20 minutes to go in and get it done and come out, right? The actual story is I'm just kind of afraid of where it is. And because I really think that I'm doing good with my diet and my exercise and controlling my diabetes, but this could prove me wrong. So, but I need to know, right? I need to know. And thanks to this vlog and you guys calling me out in these comments, I went ahead and scheduled it. And I was like, yes, I'm getting it done later on this month. Dang it. And that's why I love this vlog. Thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate it. You got me off my ass to do something that I needed to do. And I wouldn't have probably done it for a while if you wouldn't have called me out on it. So thank you very much. Anyway, so there was another comment. They asked me about my scales, about in the same comment, the scale. Do they weigh the same, right? Because I had gained that extra pound that I wasn't expecting last week. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to weigh on my old scale and see what the weight is, and then weigh on my new scale and see what the weight is. And that way you guys that haven't seen my new scale can see it. It's a Renfo and it's really cool. Anyway, let's just get that done. But before we do, let's talk about my blood sugar thing. Talking about being lazy, you guys. I tested my blood sugar, I know, twice this week. I've been super terrible at it. I'm running out of the pincher things, or the puncture things that you do get your dot of blood for. And I need to get some new ones. And I've just been so lazy that I haven't gotten to get them. So this week I'm going to go get some, and I'm going to go back to testing it twice a day. Once in the morning and maybe once in the afternoon, or maybe once at night. So, but it's going to go back to 2 times a day. But like I said, going in to see the doctor to get that A1C number and see where we're at. I've got to face reality, and thank you so much again for keeping me. So let's check this weight out. All right, let's pull out the old scale. It's a little dusty because we just got it out of the RV. This is the one we're going to put back in the RV. All right, so this one we tap it. We're supposed to tap it. There we go. To get it started. And then we get on it. And this one says that I am 158.4. And that's kind of what I was shooting for, because last week, you guys, I was 161.2. So, and I told you last week that's where I want to be, so I need to now cut back on my diet to make sure that I can stay at this weight. So that's a good sign. But if this one goes above 161.2, I'll be a little concerned. This is my new scale. This is the Renfro. Watch all the data you get on this. Now this one's really cool because it's hooked up to my phone. And when I weigh in here, it'll transmit the data to my phone, and I can look at all the data later on. All the numbers that are going to be on this thing, I can look up later on. So really, really cool. So this one is 158.2. I'm just going to stay on it a little bit longer. Now you see it scanning. That green thing, that green symbol there means that I'm within my health range as far as the weight goes. All those other green symbols means I'm within weight. Some of them are body fat. Some of them are bone density. If you want to check that scale out, check out my last video, because that's where all that information can be found. I don't want to go over it again because that video really wasn't well received. It was kind of boring, to be honest with you. I thought it was boring. But I wanted to share it with you because it's a really cool piece of tech, and I love tech. Anyway, so there you have it. So 158.2. I'm pretty happy with those results. I'm exactly where I want to be, right? So I've discovered now that if I eat, I know how much less I need to eat in order to drop a pound or two. Feels like I'm getting there, right? I can't be sure, right? So it's going to take a couple more weeks of doing this. So I'm at a little bit below 160 now. I'm going to step my game up on my eating just a tad and see where we're at next week, right? Because I want to be right there at 160. This is fun, trying to gain weight. This is something that I never thought possible, right? Ever in my life. I've always been overweight pretty much since I was in middle school and before. And I never thought, right, that I would be a normal person, right? A normal size person. I never thought I would get here, but here I am. And it's been a mental challenge, honestly, you guys. I still haven't accepted the fact that I am this size, right? So I was talking about like mental challenges. Am I mental? Yeah, I'm kind of mental. I think anybody that does this is they're kind of mental. If they've got that much weight put on them, if it's not a physical, an actual ailment that they have, that they've gained so much weight, a hereditary thing or something like that. If you're like me, nothing hereditary about it. It was all stress and coping from my childhood crap, I guess. I'm not a touchy-feely guy, so I'm not blaming any of that stuff on what it is now. What I'm saying is I need to learn to deal the cards that I was dealt, right? Not go back and try to find excuses on why I was dealt those cards. Been dealt those cards. That's in the past. It's time to read those cards and figure out what's best for Ben and how I get better, how I get healthier mentally and physically. I've done a lot of getting better physically on this channel, but the mental part has kind of been lacking and I haven't really been talking about it too much, right? So on Amazon the other day, I'm shopping for a pair of pants, right? The pants that I'm wearing normally are a size 28, you guys. I have one set of those. One set of pants that fit me. They're a size 28s and they're Levi jeans. I've been too afraid to buy other pants in that size because what if I gain weight? Then I have to buy more pants at a higher thing, right? And I've said that this whole time that I've been losing weight. I've been saying that since my waist was 40 inches and I was thinking that I would need to go up and buy 42 pants, right? I've been thinking it since then. That's a long time ago, over a year ago, right? And before that, I can't get rid of that stuff because, and the stuff that I outgrew, you say to yourself, well, I can't get rid of that either because what if one day I decide to start losing weight, right? Then it's there for me. Then I've got clothes to wear, right? I don't have to buy anything new, right? And I guess for some people that would be motivation, I guess. And I can see keeping those clothes if you're really serious about it. But I kept them an unreasonable amount of time. I've kept clothes that are probably close to 20 years old in my closet that even today would barely fit me probably. So, to give me some credit, I am weighing less than I used to, but I was in a little bit better muscular and physical shape back then. I was a younger man, so the clothes just fit different. Now that I'm older, my weight is distributed in different areas. So anyway, so today, in order to fix that mental block that I've had in my head and with all the clothes that I've got in my closet, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to show you, I'm going to try on some of those clothes that I used to wear a year ago and before that, and I'm going to get rid of them today. Today they're going to be tossed. I'm going to take them and I'm not going to toss them. I'm going to donate them to Goodwill or one of those veterans places or something. I'm going to research it and find out where the best place is. But I'm going to give those away. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to clean out that closet. Let's get this done. After that, I'm going to have some parting words for y'all. So please stay through it. It only takes a couple of minutes because I'm going to fast forward through most of it. We'll talk to you in a second. I've been meaning to do that since I started the progress on this weight loss stuff. Since I really got serious about it and I knew it was now or never. And when that Mounjaro came along and helped me cross the finish line, I was more motivated than ever. That weight loss drug saved my life. I give it credit for that. And I give it credit for getting me to the healthy stage where I am now, where I can actually keep myself healthy. Before, I was so obese that I couldn't get down to a healthy spot where I could keep myself healthy. I could probably, but I just didn't have the willpower. And Mounjaro helped me over that hump. There's a lot of other mental stuff that I want to talk about when it comes to overeating and the reasons that we overeat. It's not because we're hungry in most times. It's not because of that. Most times it's right. It's for me, it was like, it made me feel good. It gave me a sense of happiness. Every time my mom took me to the dentist or something, after I was done with the dentist, if I didn't cry when I was little, I would be rewarded with like a hamburger from McDonald's. It was a big treat when I was a kid. You know, when I was a teenager, we were going there for lunch every day. And that's why teenagers these days are getting bigger and bigger than what we remember. Anyway, you guys, that's it for today. Next week, I want to talk about some more of the mental stuff, maybe get a little bit more into it. But in the meantime, if you have any questions for me, don't hesitate to comment in the comments below and ask away if you have anything whatsoever. And I did want to tell the lady, thank you so much for pointing out my toenails were discolored, and that's a sign of bad health. You're right about that. And I've been putting stuff on them. My podiatrist put me on these stuff that I put on them. I've been doing it for about a month and a half. You should have seen them before. They were super yellow. It was pretty gross. And that's why you never saw my toes in earlier videos. I was embarrassed. But these are like 100% improved. And I thought, well, it's safe to show them. But you're right. They're still pretty discolored, but they're getting better with each application every day. Very slowly, very slowly. So maybe a couple more months and we'll be in the clear, literally. Guys, we'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notified.